Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. What it do, my little terabytes? Welcome to Tuesday, August 18th, in the year of our Lord, 2026. What it do, what it do, what it do, baby. Let's gotta see. Let me see if we can get Palo Santo over here. If she want to come to work today. So we can sanctify my area so we can get these downloads. She doing something. Ha! She came to work. If she came to work, so do I. So do I. If mama comes to work, then so am I. All right. And baby, she wanted to jump out of her little ashtray that I got for her, honey, trying to burn down the building, y'all. All right. Today we're gonna get our downloads from the Fortune Oracle by Miss Sharina Starr. All right. Let me let you all see my shuffle. You all can see. Oh shit! Wait a minute. Y'all, I done got the guidebook up in here. All right, we're gonna try that again. Shuffle, and then my pull. So yesterday I went on live last night because, baby, these jobs got me running, and I was not able to put up the content. But baby, I woke up early so I can get onto my tarot table and give you the messages that Infinite Wisdom wants you to learn. All right. So you see, I put my card there. All right. So yesterday we had this Jupiter sextiling with Venus, and what that transit made us realize is that, you know what, we don't, the clarity that we're looking for, we don't always have to look for it on ourselves. We can ask people. We don't have to figure shit out all by ourselves. Sometimes, we learned that yesterday that clarity. Spread out my tarot. Clarity also can come from other people. It sure can. Clarity can come from another person. Sometimes we need, sometimes we need someone to help us see what we can't see with our own. And let me tell you something. I've been very blessed. I've been very blessed. I've got some very good friends that will get me back in check. And what have you. And after all these years, they know who I am, honey. So there ain't no surprises, baby. So yeah. And one of my good sounding boards, just recently came back into town. So I'm extremely happy about that. Hopefully we're going to spend some, quality time, together. But yeah, again, sometimes we need someone to help us to see things that we can't. And today we've got the moon in Scorpio that's going to be clashing with Pluto retrograding in Aquarius. And again, Jupiter in Leo. Jupiter has been making the rounds. Okay. So yesterday's message, today's message is going to get a little deeper. Okay. Because once you see something differently, you still have to decide what you're going to do with that information that you just saw. And today, your emotions can make that shit even harder. Let me ask you something. Have you ever gotten clarity that you asked for and then immediately wish you didn't know? Oh, I know I have. I know I have. Because now you got to deal with what you know. Now you've got to deal with what you know. So that's today's energy. You may have, you may feel everything a little too deeply. A comment, a look, a change in someone's tone, and then suddenly something small feels huge. You're going to get in your feelings real fast today. But before you react today, take a pause. Take that sacred pause. And again, I'm going to reiterate the transit. The moon in Scorpio is going to be clashing with Pluto in Aquarius and Jupiter in Leo at the same time. So the moon is here to roughhouse people today. Yeah, the moon is now playing with the universe today, sweetheart. See, the moon in Scorpio is going to bring deep emotions, strong instincts, and the need to get beneath the surface. The moon is your subconscious. Scorpio digs under the skin. Scorpio wants to get to the bone. All right. Now, Pluto can intensify whatever you already feeling. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It's going to make it bigger. And then when in Leo, Leo ain't going to back down from shit. All right. So emotions can go from, that bothered me to that means everything. This means everything. You're going to be going from 0 to 100 real fast today. And that's where you need to be careful, collective. That's where you need to be collective. Not every feeling is a fact. Let me say that again. Not every feeling is a fact. In fact, I want you to put that in the comments. Not every feeling is a fact. Not every reaction deserves an action. You may feel like your emotional skin is going to be very thin today, and everything is going to be getting your attention. Everything is going to feel personal. You might want to respond immediately, just to release the pressure, but do not give yourself some space. Just give yourself some space. Yesterday, we talked about how letting somebody help you see the bigger picture. Today, the work is learning how to sit with what you see without immediately reacting to it. You can feel angry without sending that text. You can feel hurt without making a decision. You can feel triggered without making somebody else responsible for regulating your feelings. Feeling it doesn't mean you have to act on it. So so today, I'm looking at my tarot. Today, the tarot correspondence for this transit is going to be the moon. Right here. This bitch right here is going to be stirring shit up. Do not react. All right. The moon right here represents the subconscious, the uncertainty, intuition, fear, illusion, emotions that aren't always easy to understand. Okay. And then look at, we got a crawdad now. It's not a Scorpio, but we can, just supplement that for Scorpio, for convenience. All right. The moon is asking us right now, though. It's asking us to slow down before deciding what something means. Because what you feel is real, but your interpretation may not be. What you feel is real, but your interpretation may not be. Let me say this, y'all. When we're emotionally activated, the brain wants to connect the dots very quickly. We jumpstart. A look, becomes a rejection. One comment becomes disrespect. One interaction, becomes proof that something is wrong. That's emotional reasoning. Today, give yourself some time to separate. Give yourself some time to separate what happened from what did I make it mean. You need that pause today. And that little pause can change everything. That little pause can change everything. You don't have to give every emotion your power. You can observe the feeling without becoming the feeling. You can choose peace without pretending nothing happened. You can wait until you're more grounded before deciding what comes next. And like the moon, I feel like the moon is the natural match for today's Scorpio energy. It reminds you that there may be more to the story than what you're seeing right now. Your intuition matters, but so does discernment. I want that to marinate. Your intuition matters, but so does your discernment. Ask yourself, do I know this or am I reacting to what I fear? We're going to listen. Today we're going, Today we're going to do this affirmation. I honor my emotions without allowing them to control my choices. I honor my emotions without allowing them to control my choices. All right? So today, I want you all to take a little time. Don't react while you're heated. Do not react while you're heated. Don't assume nothing. Do not make a permanent decision over a temporary emotional state. If you need to step away and regroup, step away and regroup. Protect your peace. Okay? Just protect your peace. All right? So from the Fortune Oracle, from Sharina Star, we got card number 31, 3 plus 1 is 4. And the card is Thorns. And when we talk about 4, we're talking about stability. We're talking about boundaries. We're talking about structure, foundational support, security, and power. Thorns. Weathering the challenges ahead will bring in a new and positive future. Baby, right here. Let me tell you what this is giving me right here. Thorns is giving me protection. Thorns is giving me boundaries. Learning that sometimes you've got to defend your peace. Like today. So in essence, this card, baby, Infinite Wisdom knew what this card was going to match with this astrology. And I love when I'm getting chills right now. So yeah, baby, you got to protect your peace. And, and a thorn is it's protection for a rose. And so with this card right here, collective, here's the question. Where do you need stronger boundaries in your life? I need you all to be protective. I need you all to be guarded. I need you to be alert. Where is that disrespect and discomfort seeping in? Having boundaries doesn't make you difficult. It makes you understand your value. It makes your environment understands your worth. Wait a minute, and hold on. I need a 7 of Wands. Give me a second. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. 7 of Wands. Yep. Standing your ground. Defending yourself. Having the courage to put up your boundaries. Protecting what matters. Right here. Yo, but listen, when we've been hurt, when we've experienced hurt, from the past, our defenses can become stronger. But healthy boundaries, it allows us to protect ourselves without completely closing ourselves off. You don't want to close yourself off. You do want to protect yourself, but you do not want to close yourself off. So, in conclusion, let me say this. Not everything deserves access to you. Some things require distance. Some people require boundaries. And sometimes protecting your peace means saying no without having to explain yourself. Boundaries are not walls. Boundaries are protection. And we're going to affirm, baby, the ancestors are working with me today. We're going to affirm, I protect my peace and honor my boundaries without guilt. Say it with me again. I protect my peace and I honor my boundaries without guilt. Hello, goodbye. Collective, protect what matters to you. Okay? Not everything, not everybody gets to have access. All right. With that, I'm out. Your alignment is your assignment. When shit gets too heavy, what do? Ask the universe to show you how good it can be. I'll be back tomorrow, y'all. Have a great day.